Hello students, welcome you all for the short video on understanding subtraction of integers using the modeling of counters. And please do watch the previous videos on adding two integers, basically positive and negative integers using these counters and have a better understanding. And in this video, we will focus only on subtraction. So basically, what does addition mean? In our example, addition means you actually have different counters, which are yellow counters, to just represent the number of positive counters. Like in this case, 3 for yellow means it is plus 3. So addition is basically you add as many. So you are you are adding in as many integers. So the integers can be the yellow ones, or you can also add, in this case, 3 plus 2 is 5. And if I add 5 plus minus 2, it becomes, so I'm adding a negative integer. So in the first case, I did 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 5 plus minus 2, which is also, you can write it as 5 minus 2, and that was 3, right? These gets cancelled. So this is what we learned so far. Now, what does subtraction mean? As you can see here, subtraction can mean two things. That's how we are going to learn through counters today. So remember to go through the integers addition in the previous videos and how we got 0 using the yellow and red counters. Now let's proceed with this. So how do you model 5 minus 2? Pause a while and do it on your own. So basically 5 minus 2, you have 5 yellow counters, and the negative can mean for you as a takeaway. So you remove, right? So in the 5 counters, if you remove 2, then how many counters you have? If you remove, in the sense, if you take away 2, how many you have now? You have 3. So if you do 5 minus 2, you have 3. Like we discussed in the addition, you can also model it as there are 5 counters, and negative 2, it is also can be understood as adding 2 negative integers, right? So you add 2 yellows, and that will result in the cancellation of these, and you get a 3. So basically in this case, you write it as 5 plus minus 2. You had 5 and you are adding 2 negative integers. That's what 5 plus minus 2 mean. It also means 5 minus 2, and it results in 3. So now with this understanding, can you try performing these 2 and 3? The takeaway method, and also adding a negative integer. So you would simply have 3, and then you take away 1. You get 3 minus 2 is 1. Or you can have it as 3, and you add 2 integers, negative integers. Here it is 2, so you add 2 negative integers, and these 2 gets cancelled. So 3 plus minus 2 is 1. And then 1 minus 1, which we already know, that you have 1, and that's been taken away. So you have 0. Or you have 1 and you are adding another negative integer 1, and they both get cancelled. So 1 adding with another negative integer is 0. So I hope this is clear. Let's proceed with this. 0 minus 1. Come on, with the takeaway, you can see I don't have anything. So let's say this is this box or a plate you're having. I don't have anything. So how can I take away 1 from it? Okay, so mathematicians from the earlier days, we'll see in the end who was that, was thinking about, if you don't have anything and if you want to take 1, what you can do is basically you add a negative and a positive integer, because minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So you are just model 0. Instead of having nothing, you are using red and yellow counters to model 0. So now are you able to take a negative integer? Yes, you are able to take 1 basically. Yes, I am able to take 1. And then how many you are having reminder? 1 negative integer, which is minus 1. So now this is the example of taking away, right? So with this example, you can understand the other things. Now pause and try doing it for the 5th and 6th. So you have 3 positive counters and you want to take 5. Do you have enough 5 from taking away? No, you don't have enough. How many more do you need? I need 2 more yellow counters. So I add 2 yellow counters and 2 red counters because plus 2 and minus 2 is 0. And now you get, and now you get 3. So now will you be able to take away 5? Yes, you can take away 5 and the remaining is minus 2. So 3 minus 5 is 2. So basically what did we do here is, if you think it in the way of adding negative integers, like 3 plus minus 5, it will be very interesting to understand that you have 3 counters, yeah, and then you are adding negative 5 counters, 1 2 3 4 5, and here you go, these gets cancelled and you have only 2 negative integers. So this is the takeaway example and this is adding negative integers. So subtraction is nothing but adding negative integers. So try modeling 7 minus 10 in a similar way. So now this is how we can model 7 minus 10. So what is it that you are able to understand is basically the subtraction can be understood as takeaway or adding negative integer. So subtraction of a number can be understood as adding a negative integer. Now let's try our hands with some more different subtractions you have. Let's focus now on understanding these kind of subtractions first with negative times negative is a positive, right? So you have 5 okay, so you can think again into different ways, either take away or adding a negative integer. So 5 minus of minus 1. So you have 5 yellow counters and you want to basically remove or take away a negative counter, one negative counter. But do you have a negative counter? No, but you need a negative counter to remove. So what you can do? I can add one negative counter and one positive counter because 1 plus minus 1 is 0. And now can I take away a minus 1 like here mentioned? Yes, I can take away this. And how many are remaining? I have 6 yellow counters. So therefore 5 minus of minus 1 is 6. Isn't it interesting to understand it? Okay, now let's figure out whether adding a negative integer. So 5 plus minus 1, you can think it as 5 yellow counters and then positive of adding a negative of negative 1. So we'll see in the upcoming videos why negative into negative is a positive. But here let's understand that minus into minus is a plus. And so you are adding a 1. So basically it is thought as 5 plus minus times minus 1. So it is nothing but 5 plus 1. So you are just adding a 1 yellow counter here and therefore how many in total? 5 plus 1 is nothing but 6. So similarly, let's try doing this quickly. You want to take away 7? You don't have enough 7. So you add as many negative like negative 7 and positive 7. And now you can remove this negative 7, which is what taking away. How many total yellows you have? 12. Same way you can have here 5 plus negative times negative 7 is 5 plus 7 is 12. So this is basically interesting for us that we are trying out different numbers, right? So we are having positive in the left hand side and then subtracting a negative number.